BEEM is a sustainable technology innovation company headquartered in San Diego, California, with offices in the U.S. in San Diego, California, Yuma, Arizona, and Broadview, Illinois, in Europe in Belgrade and Kraljevo, Serbia, and in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, UAE. We develop, design, engineer, manufacture, and sell high-quality, rapidly deployed, and autonomous infrastructure products for electric vehicle, EV, and autonomous vehicle, AV charging, energy security and disaster preparedness, and highly energy-dense battery solutions in safe, compact, unique, and bespoke form factors, which we believe are ideal for the rapidly growing mobile and stationary equipment product market, which often requires electrical energy without being connected to the electrical grid. Additionally, we manufacture structures with integrated intelligence and electronics, such as street lighting, cell towers, and energy infrastructure products for smart cities, the interconnected physical and digital elements within a city that utilize technology to enhance efficiency, sustainability, and quality of life for residents. We further design, engineer, and manufacture specialized power electronics, including inverters, charge controllers, power supplies, and LED lighting. Our EV charging infrastructure products are powered by locally generated renewable energy and enable vital and highly valuable services in locations where it is either too expensive, disruptive, or impossible to connect to a utility grid, or where the requirements for electrical power are so important that grid failures, like blackouts, are intolerable. We do not compete with EV charging companies. Rather, we assist these companies by offering infrastructure solutions that replace the time-consuming and expensive process of construction and electrical work, which are usually required to install traditional grid-tied EV and AV chargers. We also do not compete with utility companies. Our products enable utilities and others to deliver reliable and low-cost electricity to EV and AV chargers, and, in the case of a grid failure, to first responders and others through our integrated emergency power panels. Our charging products are rapidly deployed without the need for construction or electrical work. We compete with the highly fragmented and disintegrated ecosystem of general contractors, electrical contractors, consultants, engineers, permitting specialists, and others who are required to perform a traditional grid-tied EV charger installation construction and electrical project. Our sustainable technology products are designed to replace a complicated, expensive, time-consuming, and risk-prone construction and electrical installation process with an easy, robust, and reliable product at a low cost of total ownership. We provide energy storage technologies that make commodity battery cells safer, longer-lasting, and more energy efficient. Our battery management systems and associated thermal packaging make batteries safer and usable in a variety of mobility, energy security, and stationary applications. Our street lighting and other street furniture products are mass-produced and sold in 18 nations globally. We are increasingly adding power electronics, energy storage, computing, sensing, and reporting to our street furniture products as we evolve them to provide greater levels of smart city services. The company creates high-quality products that are powered primarily by secure and innovative energy sources, rapidly deployable, have diverse use cases, and are attractively designed. We believe that there is a growing demand for rapidly deployable and highly scalable EV and AV charging and infrastructure for smart cities, and that our EV Arc TM, BeamSpot, and other street furniture products are designed to address this demand. We are agnostic to the EV charging service equipment as we do not sell EV charging. Rather, we sell products which enable it. Our EV Arc TM and BeamSpot products replace the traditional infrastructure required to support EV chargers, not the chargers themselves. We have over 30 years of experience deploying street lighting, transportation, energy, and telecommunications infrastructure products as a result of our 2023 acquisition of Amiga in Serbia. We also acquired relationships with existing customers to whom we are now able to sell our portfolio of innovative energy, mobility, and transportation infrastructure products, as well as our smart cities products. During the second half of 2024, we significantly expanded our product portfolio with the addition of rapidly deployed and highly scalable charging infrastructure products for electric bicycles, electric scooters, and electric motorcycles. We also introduced desalination as a capability to enhance the life-saving aspects of our disaster preparedness products. Powered by 100% renewable energy, Our BeamWell self-sufficient water treatment system converts seawater into vital freshwater. It is equipped with 4 e-mopeds for efficient and rapid transport in environments such as war zones, disaster or crisis zones, where people need safe drinking water, electricity, and mobility most. Our ability to make commodity battery cells safer, longer lasting, and more energy efficient in bespoke enclosures is, we believe, a significant differentiator as we move to an increasingly electrified and untethered world. All our renewably energized products generate their own electricity, which is stored in our integrated batteries. Our ability to develop energy-dense, highly safe batteries in unique shapes and sizes allows us to serve customers with specialized needs, including manufacturers of drones, robots, medical devices, top-secret military applications, submersibles, refrigerated transport units, and a wide range of other applications. Revenues for the 3 months ended June 30th, 2026 were $8.6 million, an increase of $1.5 million compared to $7.1 million for the 3 months ended June 30th, 2025. Revenues for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2026 were $11.7 million, a decrease of $1.7 million compared to $13.4 million for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2025. The company believes the decline in revenue during the 6 months ended June 30th, 2026, compared to the prior year, is primarily a function of order timing rather than a fundamental change in demand for its products. As of June 30th, 2026, the company's backlog was approximately $5.4 million, a decrease of $3.6 million from $9.0 million as of March 31st, 2026. Despite the decrease in the company's backlog from prior quarter, management believes the current backlog continues to be indicative of demand, which we believe will lead to an improvement in revenue in subsequent quarters. The composition of revenues shifted meaningfully during the period compared to the prior year period. International customers comprised 48% of revenue for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2026, compared to 37% for the same period in 2025, as a result of our continued success of our European expansion strategy. Revenues from non-government commercial entities as a percentage of total revenue increased 7 percentage points year-over-year and represented 67% of total revenues for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2026. Sales to the U.S. federal government represented less than 1% of revenues, while state and local governments represented 33% of revenues for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2026, compared to 40% for the same period in 2025. The company believes that as its geographic and product diversification strategy matures and its products reach a larger and broader international audience, the impact of period-to-period order timing variability on reported revenues will diminish over time. We continue to invest in sales personnel, marketing resources, and new product development, while also expanding our geographic footprint, with the goal of replacing reliance on large individual orders of our EV ARC-TM product from federal agencies, while continuing to pursue those opportunities. Order timing may continue to be uneven due to customer procurement processes, approval timelines, and budget cycles. However, we believe that increased global EV adoption, continued expansion into international markets, and the marketing of our new products will reduce the impact of variability in individual order timing on our overall business. We have a multiple award schedule contract with the General Services Administration, GSA, that helps streamline purchases from federal agencies and state and local governments. In addition, the GSA awarded Beam Global a federal blanket purchase agreement in April 2022, which provides federal agencies a streamlined procurement process for procuring EV ARC systems. In Q2 2025, the contract was extended until October 31st, 2030. Although this purchasing contract is not currently being regularly used by U.S. federal government agencies, we have made sales to other non-federal government entities in the U.S. using this contract vehicle, and we believe that having this contract extended through 2030 and also having it made available to non-federal government agencies has assisted us in closing sales in 2025 and will continue to assist in streamlining our selling processes in 2026. To the extent the federal government resumes procurement of electric vehicles and EV charging infrastructure, we believe this contract provides a streamlined and efficient channel to sell to the federal government, which operates the largest fleet in the world. On November 12, 2025, the company was awarded a cooperative purchasing contract by Sourcewell, expanding its offerings to U.S. military, state and local government agencies, and higher education institutions across North America. Sourcewell combines the purchasing power of over 50,000 participating public agencies, offering hundreds of awarded supplier contracts across public sector and educational organizations to procure the company's sustainable infrastructure and energy storage solutions through a ready-to-use, negotiated, Sourcewell-vetted contract, streamlining the public purchasing process. Our commercial, non-government revenues increased as a percentage of our revenues from 60% to 67% from the first 6 months of 2025 compared to the first 6 months of 2026. Our geographic expansion into Europe and our additional business development activities in the Middle East and Africa are, we believe, also providing opportunities for growth, which are not dependent on or impacted by shifts in U.S. government zero-emission vehicle policies. The new products we have brought to market offer values which are also not dependent upon U.S. federal government investment. We expect the electric vehicle market to continue to experience significant growth globally over the next decade, which will in turn increase demand for additional EV charging infrastructure. We believe we are positioned to benefit significantly from this growth. Additionally, we are in compliance with the Build America, Buy America Act, BABA, which ensures that our U.S. products are manufactured for our U.S. customers in the United States using a sufficient amount of domestically sourced materials. In Europe, we have obtained the CE mark, Conformité Européenne, for our EV ARC team, Beam Bike team, Beamwell, and Beam Patrol products, indicating that those products comply with applicable European Union health, safety, and environmental protection requirements and may be freely traded within the European Economic Area. We believe these certifications strengthen our credibility, consumer trust, and increase demand for our products, particularly among federal, state, and local government agencies. We also manufacture many products which are not related to EV charging, such as our batteries, energy security, and smart cities products. Although current federal policy priorities have reduced support for transportation electrification, the company believes that domestic manufacturing, energy storage, and energy security remain areas of potential federal and commercial demand. The company believes its compliance with BABA may continue to support its competitive position as customers place greater emphasis on U.S. manufactured critical infrastructure products. With our acquisitions of Amiga and Telcom, we have facilities in Europe that can manufacture and sell Beam Global products for the European market. Europe is the largest market in the world for EVs and is a strong proponent of clean energy. We believe there is a lot of potential for growth in this region. The EU has mandated a transition to zero-emission vehicles by 2035, and they are heavily focused on green and sustainable energy. An increase in electric vehicles adoptions will increase the demand for charging infrastructure. We believe that our sustainably energized EV ARC CTM and BeamSpot TM products can play a major role in the provision of EV charging infrastructure in Europe. Our energy security business is also connected with the deployment of our EV charging infrastructure products and serves as an additional benefit to the value proposition of our charging products which, along with their integrated emergency power panels, can continue to operate, charge EVs, and deliver emergency power during utility grid failures. Our state-of-the-art storage batteries installed on our EV charging systems are immune to grid failures and provide another benefit for customers such as municipalities, counties, states, the federal government, hospitals, fire departments, large private enterprises with substantial facilities, and vehicle fleet operators. Drones, submersibles, recreational products, and a host of micro-mobility and electric vehicle products are already benefiting from our Beam All-Cell TM highly differentiated products. With the continued growth of untethered electrification, we believe there is an opportunity for increased demand in these markets and others. We are in development on our newest patented products, which include BeamSpot TM, BeamFlight TM, and others, which we expect will continue to expand our product offerings leveraging the same proprietary technology as our current products and allow us to expand into new markets. Beam Europe is one of Europe's largest manufacturers of streetlights and has a team of qualified structural, electrical, and civil engineers who are experts in the field of development and deployment of street lighting. They are working with our engineers in San Diego and Broadview to continually improve the engineering and development of our new BeamSpot team product. We believe that BeamSpot may become our largest selling product. On June 20th, 2025, BEEM entered into a joint venture agreement with the Platinum Group LLC, a diversified, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate operating in energy, real estate, finance and investing, healthcare, information technology, sports and entertainment, food services, and legal services in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Chaired by His Royal Highness Sheikh Mohammed Sultan bin Khalifa Al Nahyan, the Platinum Group UAE is recognized for its well-established and trusted relationships across government and industry. BEEM Global and the Platinum Group has formed a new entity, BEEM Middle East LLC, a limited liability company in Abu Dhabi, which will sell and manufacture BEEM Global's patented sustainable infrastructure solutions for transportation electrification, energy storage, energy security, and smart city development across the Middle East and African regions. We believe this joint venture marks a significant milestone in our global expansion strategy and positions us to capture growth in a region projected to invest over $1 trillion in renewable energy by 2030. BEEM Middle East is headquartered in Masdar City, a pioneering sustainable urban community and world-class business and technology hub. Masdar City is located in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, strategically positioned at the center of the country's drive toward a net-zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Over the long term, the company expects revenue to grow as it expands its product offerings and geographic reach, supported by anticipated increases in global demand for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. The company does not anticipate significant pricing pressure on its products. The combination of expected revenue growth and the cost reduction measures described above leads management to believe that gross margins will improve over time. Revenues. For the 3 months ended June 30, 2026, our revenues increased 21% to $8.6 million, compared to $7.1 million for the same period in 2025. Revenues derived from non-government, commercial entities represented 62% of total revenues for the 3 months ended June 30, 2026, compared to 66% for the 3 months ended June 30, 2025. During the 3 months ended June 30, 2026, 38% of product sales were to state and local government customers, compared to 32% for the 3 months ended June 30, 2025. The company expects reduced U.S. federal government purchasing activity to continue in the near term, reflecting changes in U.S. federal policy priorities relating to fleet electrification and EV charging infrastructure. However, the company believes U.S. federal agencies may continue to represent a potential long-term opportunity for its products, particularly if federal policy priorities change or if broader market adoption of electric vehicles and related charging infrastructure increases demand. The timing and extent of any future federal demand remain uncertain and will depend in part on federal policy priorities, agency procurement activity, available funding, and broader market conditions. Gross profit. The company reported a gross profit of $1.5 million, representing a gross margin of 17.8% for the 3 months ended June 30, 2026, compared to a gross profit of $1.4 million, or a gross margin of 20.3% for the same period in 2025. Gross results for the 3 months ended June 30, 2026 and 2025 included non-cash charges of $0.5 million for depreciation and $0.2 million for amortization of intangible assets arising from the AllCell acquisition for both periods. The company expects gross margins to improve as revenues grow and fixed overhead absorption increases. Operating expenses. Total operating expenses decreased $1.4 million from the 3 months ended June 30, 2026, compared to the same period in 2025. The 3 months ended June 30, 2025, included a stock grant in June 2025 for $1.4 million. The adjusted total operating expenses, less the $1.4 million stock grant, are flat year over year. Revenues. For the 6 months ended June 30, 2026, our revenues decreased 13% to $11.7 million, compared to $13.4 million for the same period in 2025. Revenues derived from non-government, commercial entities represented 67% of total revenues for the 6 months ended June 30, 2026, compared to 60% for the 6 months ended June 30, 2025. During the 6 months ended June 30, 2026, 33% of revenues were to state and local government customers, compared to 32% for the 6 months ended June 30, 2025. Gross profit. The company reported a gross profit of $1.1 million, representing a gross margin of 9.5% for the 6 months ended June 30, 2026, compared to a gross profit of $1.9 million, or a gross margin of 14.4% for the same period in 2025. Gross results for the 6 months ended June 30, 2026 and 2025 included non-cash charges of $1.1 million for depreciation and $0.4 million for amortization of intangible assets arising from the AllCell acquisition. The company expects gross margins to improve as revenues grow and fixed overhead absorption increases. Operating expenses. Total operating expenses were $10.8 million for the 6 months ended June 30, 2026, compared to $22.0 million for the same period in 2025. The prior period included a non-cash goodwill impairment charge of $10.8 million and a stock grant of $1.4 million, while no such charges were recorded for the 3 months ended June 30, 2026. The decrease was primarily attributable to a $1.6 million increase in the provision for credit losses, partially offset by reductions in salaries and benefits, facilities, and other general and administrative expenses. The $1.6 million increase in the provision for credit losses relates to a single customer balance that became subject to reserve in accordance with the company's policy. The company maintains a positive working relationship with the single customer and will continue to work with the customer to collect the outstanding balance and create new revenue opportunities. At June 30, 2026 and December 31, 2025, we had cash balance of $1.0 million. We have historically met our cash needs through equity financings and through cash flow from operations. Our cash requirements are generally for operating activities and acquisitions. Based on our current operating plan, we estimate that we will require approximately $3.0 million of cash to fund our operations and meet our obligations during the 12 months following the date these financial statements are issued. We expect to fund these requirements primarily from cash on hand and from cash generated by operations, including collection of our accounts receivable and sale of our existing inventory. At June 30, 2026, our working capital was $5.5 million. Management believes the company's present cash flows will enable it to meet its obligations for 12 months from the date of these financial statements. Management will continue to assess its operational needs and seek additional financing as needed to fund its operations. For the 6 months ended June 30, 2026, our cash used in operating activities was $4.8 million, compared to $2.1 million for the 6 months ended June 30, 2025. Cash used in operations in the 6 months ended June 30, 2026 included a $0.4 million increase in accounts receivable, excluding the provision for credit losses, $0.6 million decrease in deferred revenue, $0.7 million decrease in operating lease liability, and $0.3 million decrease in other long-term liabilities. Cash provided by operations included $0.2 million decrease in prepaid and other current assets, $1.2 million decrease in inventory, $0.1 million increase in accounts payable, $0.6 million increase in accrued expenses, and $0.1 million in sales tax payable. Cash used in investing activities in the 6 months ended June 30, 2026 was $181,000, and June 30, 2025 was $838,000, mainly related to purchase of property and equipment in both years, with the remainder related to funding of patent costs. For the 6 months ended June 30, 2026 and 2025, cash provided by our financing activities was $5.2 million and $2.2 million, respectively, mainly related to sale of common stock under the sales agreement with B. Riley. Current assets decreased to $17.7 million at June 30, 2026 from $21.0 million at December 31, 2025, primarily due to a $1.5 million decrease in accounts receivable, which reflects $1.8 million increase in reserve for credit losses, a $1.5 million decrease in inventory, and a $0.4 million decrease in prepaid expenses and other current assets, partially offset by a $0.1 million increase in cash. As a result, our working capital decreased $3.4 million to to $5.5 million at June 30th, 2026, from $8.9 million at December 31st, 2025. The company notes that $1.8 million of this decrease is attributable to the non-cash increase in the reserve for credit losses related to a single customer balance reserved in accordance with the company's policy.